What's up, dog?
What's up, my boy?
Viva México, cabrones!
It was a big weekend for us this weekend, my boy.
The Mike Angelino Sports Podcast. Welcome. What's up, my boy? It's been a while, man.
It's been a cool minute, man. How you been during this fucking quarantine, bro? I know we're almost out of it, but what's going on?
Oh, man, I've been trying to push this podcast, man, and I know you had your own podcast, but word on the streets that you're a free agent, dude. What's up?
Well, I can't talk about that right now. I got my representations telling me to keep quiet until we get to further details on it. But there might be an announcement soon. I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So those that don't know, this is Javier Ramirez, one of the hottest podcasters, hottest free agents in the game, up and coming in the game. Breaks down fights, knows the inside, the outs, the rights, the left, a historian of boxing and sports, but he's a black belt when it comes to boxing. And he's a free agent, and Mike Angelino Sports is looking to advance. So I don't know. We might talk after maybe a three podcast deal. But we'll call you. My people will call your people, and we'll break it down. So welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, what's up, man? I've been due, bro. It's been a cool minute. I know you've been pumping out episodes, dog. I don't know why I haven't been able to be a part of one yet, but I'm finally happy I get to be part of one.
Oh man, you save the best for last. That's what they say, right?
Yup.
All right, so talking about saving the best for last, I don't even know where that's going, but did you see the Virgil Ortiz fight last night, dude?
Yes, I did. I was fortunate enough to watch it, bro. It was a pretty damn good fight. I mean, if you're a real boxing fan or if you're a boxing fan in general, I mean, you know, I got excited a couple of times. I know coming into the fight before it started, like I thought the way it was going to play out, my prediction was I thought the first 3, 4, maybe 5 rounds, I thought Hooker was going to try to box more and use his jab, trying to counter Ortiz. And then eventually I thought like after that 4th, 5th, 6th round, maybe Ortiz was eventually going to get inside him. And then it was going to become a shootout.
Yeah.
And then we know Hooker from his last fight from Ramirez and previous other fights. Hooker's down, bro. If he gets into exchanges with people, he's willing to get into firefights. So I thought that's how it was going to play out. But Ortiz put the pressure on him since the first round, and he had success right away. You know, he was hitting him with the crisp 1-2. I know we were talking about it last night too. He hit him with he was hitting him with jabs all night, bro. Hooks, everything. And then the first 3 rounds I gave to Ortiz. Mm-hmm. He was landing. He was the aggressive. He was imposing his will on Hooker. Even though Hooker did have some success, Ortiz was making it his type of fight. But then I thought in the 4th round, that's when the momentum started to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
Hooker was having more success landing the counter right hook, and then he was hitting him with his jab of his own too. So I thought in the 4th round, it was getting kind of scary for Ortiz. Like, oh shit, all right, we're gonna see either we're gonna see his youth right now because Ortiz is still 22 years old. We're gonna see, okay, is he still young? Like, how's he gonna adapt? Or is he that type of fighter where he's gonna adjust, take it to the next level, and then finish him off?
Yeah.
And he passed the test, dude. I thought in the 4th round, like I said, I gave to Hooker. And the 5th round, I thought the first half, like the first minute and a half, Hooker was still taking it. But then I think the momentum went back to Ortiz when he landed those body shots and a couple of uppercuts too.
Yeah.
That the commentators didn't really go into. But he landed a couple of body shots that turned the tide back into his favor. And then we saw the 6th, 7th where he eventually finished them off. But dude, this was Ortiz's biggest test so far, and he aced it, dude. He had a little adversity, which is good because that's what we want to see. Because I mean, it's cool when we see a guy, going through everybody. Yeah. But we want to see how he faces adversity and if he could, respond. And he did, dude. Hooker was having some success, like I said, landing that fucking counter right hook, hitting him with the jab 1-2. Hooker was even having some success inside, which was weird because I don't know why he would want to have that. Like, why would you try to battle Ortiz in the inside if he's longer?
Let me tell you how I saw it, and maybe you could give me some input on that. What I saw is Hooker was, like you said, he was having success in the inside, and he was countering. He was waiting for Ortiz to come, and then boom, boom, and that's what he hit Ortiz clean with some good shots. You could see his face, and that reminded me of Canelo when he fought Khan. Remember in the beginning rounds, Canelo was trying to find his rhythm and trying to find his spacing, and then Khan was just like, bah, bah. And then Canelo, when he used to like move back, Khan used to respond, and so it took Canelo a couple of rounds. I don't know if you remember that, and that's what happened to. I'm not comparing Virgil to Canelo, of course, but that's what was. I saw that like Hooker was getting him with some fucking counters, and the kid he was finding his space, and he went to the body. Did you see that?
Yeah, he found his range right away. The thing with the Canelo Khan fight, like it took Canelo like what 3-4 rounds until he started finding his range, and then Khan was catching him in the beginning, but then towards the end, fucking Canelo's making him miss more, and then he was going to the body and all that until he finished them all. But but like I was impressed with Ortiz because he got inside right away, was landing his jab, was landing those
beautiful
hooks.
Jab. Yeah,
going to the body a little bit. So from the beginning, it was his type of fight. Like I said, the first 3 rounds I gave to Ortiz. And then towards the end of the 3rd round, that's when Hooker started having good success. And you even saw too, like at the end of the 3rd round after the bell rang, Ortiz even kind of acknowledged it. Like he was kind of talking smack to Hooker before he went back to his corner. So that's when you know, like, all right, Hooker was having some success. And then I gave Hooker the 4th round. Because like I said, he was countering more effectively. And then Ortiz he let his foot off the gas a little bit, maybe because he was kind of surprised how, how Hooker was kind of withstanding too. And that's another thing too. The first 3-4 rounds, I was kind of surprised because Ortiz was landing a lot of clean shots. Mm-hmm. And then for me, I don't know if you agree, but Ortiz is kind of he's a big welterweight, especially for being such a young guy. And this was Hooker's first fight at welterweight.
That's what I was going to bring up. This is
go ahead.
No, yeah. Hooker's a 140. He moved up. He hasn't fought in a year and a half. So because of COVID, I understand. It's a whole bunch of weird crap that happens, and this is a weird year, this year and last year. So it's not fair because COVID. So he moved up, and Virgil's big, dude. He hits hard. So it was Hooker banged, and also that Hooker was training with Crawford's trainer, right?
Yeah, they're in the same camp. That's why Crawford was there. Yeah. And it's true too, because I was thinking about that too. When Hooker was taking Ortiz's shots in the beginning, I remember right before the fight started, they're interviewing Crawford, and he's like, he was killing himself making 140. So they like him and his whole team, they talked to Hooker about going up to 147 and kind of having like that, like living a healthier lifestyle, not always trying to kill yourself and not eating, making it to 140. So like in the back of my mind during the beginning of the fight, I was kind of thinking about that. Like, since he didn't kill himself making weight this time, and maybe he's comfortable at welterweight, he's able to take the shots better too. Because like I feel
took the shots.
Because I feel like, if you're kind of dehydrating yourself to make a certain weight, and you're kind of killing yourself, your legs might not be there by fight night, and then you might not be able to have take the same amount of punishment as you would if you're just fucking able to eat and train during training camp and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it was a good fight. I was surprised Hooker was taking his shots, especially since like I said, he was landing a bunch of clean shots in the beginning. But it was a good fight, dude. I mean, we kind of had that discussion if Hooker quit, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt just because he was exchanging towards like all the way until the end. He went out in his shield, but I know you feel differently, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I try to watch that incident, whatever that I was trying to watch what happened, and the camera angle doesn't give it to me. But from like one of the camera angles, he threw a shot with his right, and he hit Virgil Ortiz in the shoulder. I was like, what the hell? It's just like he threw a shot, boom, and then Virgil Ortiz landed one in his face, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when he went down. I seen fighters go down. Floyd went down versus Jose Chavez, I think. Oh no, the Salvadorian fighter. Boom, he hit him on top of the head. Huh? Jesus Chavez?
Jesus Chavez. Yeah,
or Famosito, one of those chaparrillo foods, one of those short cats. But he got up, and we're talking about Floyd. But yeah, he messed up his hand. They showed it. But I seen fighters get up and fight with one hand, dude. But it's easy for me to say. I'm watching the fight in my living room. So yeah, he got injured, and he gave a good shot. It was a good fight, dog. It's not like, oh my God, easy work. Nah, dude, it was dope. That was a good fight. That kid showed heart. All right, so let me just give you the good. We already talked about the good things. Let's talk about the holes we've seen in Virgil Ortiz, because I texted you last night, and you said that he's not ready for Crawford. Yeah.
He's not ready yet.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still 22 years old. So there's no rush for that's how I'm looking at it right now. He's still a baby. Like, I don't want no, I'm not saying that Crawford's Trinidad, but like, I don't need to see another Vargas, type of deal where like we see a dude's career end at 22, 23.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing about, because I mean, we're big Crawford fans, like we know how the skill that he has.
Yeah.
The thing that I want to see that Ortiz have, that I know that he could compete at an elite level, like I need to see those tricks. So like when we see Canelo fight, or we used to see Floyd fight, or even Crawford.
Can you give me an example of a trick? Give me a trick. Give me for the fan.
So the first thing that stood out to me when I was watching Ortiz, he doesn't throw any feints. Mm-hmm. So at least like fake a feint to the body, go upstairs or throw a volado, like set up body shots, just set up traps, landmines. Ortiz could have kept going to the body, pick the spot, pick feints to the body, and then eventually go up and maybe catch Hooker.
Yeah, he's pretty predictable.
Like so he's a little, I don't want to say predictable because he has hands, dude. So like,
it's just
forward, and he does come at you at certain angles sometimes, which I give Robert Garcia a lot of credit to.
And I don't know if you saw the Garcia when they have their mitts up and he puts it down. That's the big G move. Vargas used to do that. He did that. I saw that. But all right, not predictable, but it's coming. It's like it's that same move. It's just like bah, 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 bah. He's fast though.
Yeah, it's a combination of the same things.
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, 2. Like he's throwing the same shit. I mean, it's gonna come in different varieties, but kind of the same things are coming at you. But yeah, I just want to see. I mean, and then that comes with experience too. Like the bigger, if he fights better people, he's gonna pick up on those things eventually. Because like Canelo, he had some tricks when he was 22, 23, but he wasn't there yet.
Oh yeah.
So I think Ortiz is gonna catch that. I mean, he's gonna learn those things eventually as he gets more experience. But yeah, that was the first thing that kind of stood out to me. Throw some feints, go to the body, set up traps. Kind of catch people with his footwork. Throw that little side shift shot and that little left hook or something. Little stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like a red flag or anything where like there wasn't ever a moment where I thought like, oh, like he has serious holes in this game or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the first thing that stuck out. And then just a little bit of his defense could be a little bit better, even though, I mean, you got to give credit to Hooker. I mean, he's a good fighter. It's not like Ortiz was in there with the taxi driver or anything like that. He was a champion at 140 when he fought Ramirez. I don't know if he still had his belt when he fought Ramirez, but he was at a time he was a champion at 140. So you got to give him credit as well. But just a little bit more head movement, be a little bit more unpredictable. Like don't stay in your range at all times. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he passed the test, dude. Like I was impressed. And like I said, he got his midterm yesterday and he got all A's. So I mean, that's the only things I was looking at. But other than that, like there wasn't, like I said, there wasn't a moment where I thought like, oh, I don't know if he's the real deal or like I'm worried, like he's got a lot of stuff to work at. But he's with Robert Garcia, so he's in good hands. So I ain't tripping.
Yeah. I saw a lot of good things, and like I said, you have the defense. And estaba chiquito. That's what Robert teaches you. He threw a nice jab, nice to the body. The only thing I saw that I think it's every young cat. He got a little out of control sometimes, and it's just like when the other fighters hurt, you could run into something. I saw a little bit, and then Robert told him to calm down, but I was like, oh shit, he's gonna run into something, and he got hit with some hard punches, and he took it. Yeah. As you can see, he got cut a little bit, and of course, when you got your gloves, you get the glove hickeys. That's what they asked his pops. He said, he has the glove hickeys too, but he got hit, dude. But he took some big shots, and he showed good chin, and this was a good test. He passed the test, dude. It was dope. All these kids, all these young prospects, Ryan Garcia, all of them, they're passing the test. So now it's we're seeing more guys pass the test, and so far he passed it. Garcia passed it. Just real quick, Devin, what's his name? Man, I forgot his name, but he wanted to fight Mikey. He's one of the youngsters that are coming up.
Haney.
Yeah, there's a rumor Haney's gonna fight someone. Linares.
Yeah, Linares was calling him out supposedly.
I think it's already. I think it's a nah. I don't know if it's a go. I heard a rumor, but I don't know. That's a good test right there.
They were going back and forth on Twitter. Like it seems like a bunch of fighters do that now. But I mean, yeah, if we could get Haney versus Linares, I haven't seen Haney fight too much. I've seen his last couple of fights.
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice athletic fighter, bro. Like I still got to see more when it comes to like fundamentals and like I said, like with Ortiz, like see if he has any tricks up his bag. But Haney's nice. He's got the hand speed, like I said, athleticism.
He need to take the test though. He hasn't fought nobody that.
Yeah, but he's still, what is he, like 21, 22 years old still?
Yeah.
So I mean, if he fights Linares, that's another good test too. Linares still has something left in the tank.
Yeah.
And then even though he doesn't have power, and he's a little bit older, he still got the fundamental skills, bro. Like he'll dance on you if you ain't on your A game, and he'll make you look stupid.
If you're a kid
if he's not ready, he'll catch him slipping.
Yeah. All right, just real quick, I don't know if you heard, there was a controversy that Virgil Ortiz he didn't make weight during the weigh-in, and he had COVID, so they were going to call the fight out like a couple weeks before the fight. I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't hear anything about that. You were telling me earlier, or you brought something up earlier, but no, I didn't. I mean, I might have saw it on social media or something, and it just slipped right through me. But no, so what was the deal? That he tested positive or something, or
that he tested positive like a couple of weeks before the fight, and he didn't even spar the last couple of weeks of his training camp. And then they said he fought at 70%. I don't know if it's they're gassing him up that he's still. So it's just Ellie Setback said that. So I'm like, oh, damn. And then he didn't make the weight because Golden Boy gave him a scale in his room because he's promoted by Golden Boy. So he had the scale, but the scale was off by like 0.6. So he went to go weigh himself, and he was off by 0.6 to make 147. And he had to lose weight, take a dump, and take a piss maybe, and then you'll do it. But yeah, that's what that was like the controversy the media was saying, like, oh shit, this kid can't make 47 anymore. So yeah. You'll probably hear that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big. I mean, I feel like he's already kind of a big welterweight. I don't know if he's killing himself making 147 right now, because he's only like I said, he's only 22 years old, so his body's still growing. Yeah. So he's naturally gonna get bigger, especially like if he's working out and all that. But I mean, eventually, I think he's gonna have to go up to 154 and all that. So I mean, maybe that's the reason too. He was calling out Crawford because he knows his time's running out at 147. So he's trying to get those big money fights before he has to go up, or before his body won't let him, stay at 147. So we'll see. But the future's bright for Ortiz, bro. Like I said, he caught my eye a couple of years ago when he was the first time I saw him fight was like 2.5 years ago, like in 2019, early 2019, late 2018.
Yeah,
it was like his first fight off. I want to say he messed up his back. He didn't fight for like a year because he had either a bad back or a bad hand. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing I remember. And then he was like on Friday Night Fights on ESPN when they used to have that back in the day. So or it might have been on Saturday, I don't know. But the first time I saw him fight was on there. It was a Golden Boy card, like Friday Night Fights or whatever. And then he looked nice, dude. He was crispy already. He was like 19 years old at the time. And I was like, oh shit, like this kid's good. And then eventually, like on the zone and all that, when he was on the Canelo undercard, I remembered. I'm like, oh shit, it's so and so. But he's nice, dude. I want to see him fight a couple more solid welterweights before I want to say that give him a top dude at 147.
And I got some names for you. I got some names for you that Jose Benavidez Sr., David Benavidez' father, named. How about Jose Benavidez, the welterweight, not David, Jose? That's a good fight. What do you think about that?
Smaller brother. Yeah, it's a good fight, dude. I mean, we saw Benavidez. I think the last time I saw him fight was against Crawford, like a year and a half ago. And then even though we know the story about him where he got shot in the leg and all that, he put up a fight against Crawford with one leg, you could say, and he put out a respectable showing. I mean, so yeah, dude, like if they want to fight at 147, if Benavidez is an actual 147 welterweight, I mean, that's a nice little test. I know we're talking about Mean Machine.
That's a good one, dog. That's a good fight right there.
Put up a fight against Crawford too, bro. And it will be interesting too, because like, if that might be a potential matchup down the road between Ortiz and Crawford. You always want to have them fight similar dudes, and then you want to kind of compare how they did against them, kind of to like build up the fight. But I mean, it's a welterweight division, so it's stacked. I know like half of the welterweights are with PBC. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
But So it might be tough to make fights with them. But there's some solid fights that he could have with the next year and all that. See if he's ready for Crawford. But I mean, my dream fight right now, Ortiz versus Porter Jr. Even though I know that's not gonna happen, but that'll be a fucking that's a shootout right there, bro. Because Porter, he's just gonna come at you trying to fight you in that in that phone booth. It's gonna be like a sloppy phone booth
fight. That's a good fight.
Yeah. Because he's unorthodox too. Porter, he's a southpaw and all that, so he's gonna be like in and out, and then try to rush Ortiz and hold him and all that. So it'll be a good test for him. But that's my if I had a pick, they told me like, hey, pick your next fight for Ortiz no matter what. I mean, that would be it. But we gotta be a little bit more realistic. So we'll see. But either way, I'm ready for the next fight.
All right. I don't know if you heard the rumor, but I got this on the internet. I don't know if it's true. The internet isn't right all the time, but there's rumors that Valdez might fight Loma. How do you see that?
Fuck. I think right now, if you want to fight Loma, right now is the time.
Right.
His self-esteem might be a little low after the Teofimo Lopez fight. And then now I feel like Loma doesn't have that that aura of indestructibility or whatever, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Just because we saw him lose, like we saw him legitimately lose now. So maybe it could get interesting because now other fighters might want to step up to the table against Loma and be like, oh, well, I could fight him now. Like he lost, so like I could take him. But if those rumors are true, Valdez versus Loma at 135, bro. Right now, Valdez, his self-esteem's high right now, bro, after what he did to Virgil. And then, right now, speaking of trainers, Valdez has the best trainer in the world, my boy, Eddie Reynoso. So, he's going to get him ready. Yeah, so, he's going to get him ready. So if that fight or the rumors are true and they do fight, that might be a 50-50 fight, which is something that I wouldn't have said, a year ago. But that's a nice one, dude.
Yeah, that's a good fight, dude. I versus Alacran, Berchet, I thought Alacran was gonna put hands on him, dude. And this kid,
I thought Berchet was a favorite coming in. He was a champion, and then like Berchet could box too. He's more of that old school Mexican style where he's gonna brawl, but he has some skills too, where he could jab, 1-2, move a little bit. But Valdez never let him get in his fucking rhythm at all, and he was just fucking boxing him, countering him. It was a perfect game plan, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like the Eddie Reynoso effect. If they do fight, Eddie's gonna get him ready, and then having the top pound for pound fighter in the game right now, in your camp, in your ear, fucking telling you what to do or giving you some advice. I mean, that's just nothing but knowledge right there. So right now, I mean, you can make a case that Valdez is the second best lightweight. I'm not gonna put him over Teofimo right now because Teofimo's fire too, bro. But you could say right now it's Teofimo 1 and then Valdez is number 2, just because of what's kind of what's been going on the last couple of months. Valdez got a huge victory a couple of weeks ago, so that might be the fight.
Yeah, talking about the pound for pound, who is your number 1 pound for pound? Answer that real quick.
Oh, that's an easy ass answer, man. But fucking Canelo.
And talk about Canelo, he's making a mark in sport, but making a mark in pop culture. He's in the Mike Tyson Hot Box podcast. He came out on that. He got the Chinese his footprints in handprints in the Chinese theater. So what do you think about that? He's transcending to become a megastar, or he is a megastar.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of see him make that transition. I mean, within the last 2-3 years? I think after the 2 Triple G fights, his name kind of elevated. Even though I mean it was controversy, but I mean that if anything, that controversy kind of made him more famous because now people are talking about him, right? Whether they think he lost or whether they think he won.
Yeah.
And then also, I remember too when he signed that huge ass fight deal with DAZN. I mean, that kind of made waves too around the whole, the sport news and all that, because at that time he had signed like the biggest contract in sports history. So yeah, he was put on the map with that too, even though it only lasted like 3 fights. But yeah, dude, I mean, he's making that transition from just, being the top boxer in the world, arguably, to being a superstar. And then, we see him doing stuff outside the ring too. I mean, with his commercials, and like you just mentioned too, like he had his footprints in his hands in front of the Chinese theater, and now he's like on Hollywood now apparently. But yeah, dude, he's making that transition, and you can't even argue right now that who's the best, ticket seller right now in the game.
Let me just ask you this for the haters and also the decaps, dumb casual as fans. I was listening to a podcast, and that dude said that Earl Spence Jr. is the best. He sells the most pay-per-views. Can you explain the situation, the pay-per-views? Because COVID, they didn't have a capacity, they didn't have fans, and et cetera, et cetera. He said he sold more gate. They're saying that Errol Spence sold more gate, but when Canelo fought, it was COVID. There wasn't any fans, or there was fans, but there was a limit of fans. Can you get into?
Yeah, so pretty much when they're talking about, they're comparing the Spence versus Danny fight to Canelo's last fight, not the Yildirim fight, but when he came back and fought Callum Smith.
Yeah.
So some people I saw on the internet too, and we talked about it. Yeah. Some people were trying to make the argument that Earl Spence's his gate money was made more than Canelo, and because of that he might be the biggest name in boxing. But like you mentioned, COVID too. I believe that so freaking the Spence and Danny fight was at the AT&T where the Cowboys play. Yeah. So I think like the capacity for that is like over 100,000 or something like that. And then when it came to Canelo versus Callum Smith, they fought at another stadium in Texas. I think it was like the Houston, and they fought in Houston. I forgot what the stadium's called.
Yeah.
But the capacity in Houston, the AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play, has a bigger capacity. So like their 20% is obviously going to be bigger than where Canelo fights 20%. So I mean that's when the numbers got misconstrued or whatever, and there are people trying to make that case. But at the end of the day, like they both sold out. And then you can even say like the Spence versus Danny fight was a more competitive or bigger fight, but yet Canelo fought Callum Smith last minute too. They announced the fight like a month before they actually fought, so there was no big promotion or anything, and he was still able to sell out. So that that says something in itself. But I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, we saw it too in the last fight. Freaking Canelo fought Yildirim, who nobody knew fucking existed. And they fought in Miami, and all the fucking stars were out just to see, who fucking fight. Yeah. So, I mean, I never seen Spence get walked out by a fucking J Balvin or another fucking rapper or whatever. But, I mean, if you could ask anybody, they know who the biggest name in boxing is right now. And then, I mean, Spence is dope. He could sell a little bit, but when it comes to pay-per-view numbers too, I mean, Canelo hasn't fought pay-per-view in his last 3-4 fights since the last Triple G fight. But I mean, if you compare their numbers to Spence, it's not even close. Like they're not even in the same chapter. They're not even in the same book. So I don't know why you're trying to get at that argument for.
Yeah, and those were the what was circling around on the internet. I was like, dude, at least keep it real with the numbers. Don't just say this. He sold more, but like you said, you give a better insight what happened, and they're misconstruing the numbers, and that's not cool. I mean, you can't call somebody if it's not calling the he sells more, but if you're not breaking down just say, oh, he sold more because blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Say that, but and that's the thing that I'm a Canelo fan, but I also critique him big time. You know it. And but I don't like when they do that because they're not giving you the full insight in the full details. And if I'm not mistaken, Cowboy Stadium, I just seen it up. I don't know if they said it right. 70,000 capacity. Is that true or not?
I think it's more, bro.
It's more? Okay.
The new Cowboy Stadium, it's an AT&T because they built it like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think the capacity it might be over 100,000, but I'm not.
Well, in the Canelo fight, they're gonna have a full capacity. That's what I heard. So I don't know if I'm wrong on that one. This fight coming
80, up. My bad. It's 80,000.
Oh, it's 80,000?
AT&T Stadium, yeah.
Okay. And supposedly Texas is going to have full capacity now for this fight. So we're going to see. We're going to see it's full capacity. It's in Texas. They love boxing. So we're going to see how Canelo does. All right. Canelo versus Billy Joe Sanders. Saunders was announced. Give me the keys to victory. Who's gonna win? How are they gonna win? Who's gonna win?
So from Saunders' standpoint, I think the biggest keys to victory is first you're gonna have to box him. And then that's when, I mean, if you do want to, see if you're rooting for Saunders, this is something you could like kind of lean towards. He's a very kind of like awkward fighter. He is a southpaw and he likes to move a lot. The first time we saw, or one great example of that, is when he fought Lemieux.
He schooled Lemieux, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Canelo's and Lemieux's in Canelo's fucking, territory or whatever, or level. But yeah, he's gonna have to have that type of performance. Move back and forth, frustrate Canelo. Don't make it a fight. Don't let Canelo get any rhythm at all. Jab. He does have a good jab, and he kind of has like that 1-2 where he's kind of like unorthodox. Like he's throwing it, but like at a weird, awkward angle. And I think those are some of the things that might make Canelo. It might make it tough for Canelo. Even though I know a lot of people were comparing this fight to when Canelo fought Lara, and they were kind of saying like, oh, that's the type of fight that Saunders is going to give him, and Canelo's going to have trouble. So one thing I do say about that is Canelo's way more experienced now compared to when he fought Lara. I mean, it was 6-7 years ago, and Canelo was only 24 when he fought Lara, or 20. He was 20. He had just turned 24. So right now he's like at the apex of his fucking prime and all that. So, I mean, I think Canelo, he has more tricks in the bag, like we mentioned before. He's going to throw feints at him. He's a better fighter now going forwards compared to what we saw him against Lara. So I think that's going to help him too. Like he's good at finding his range more. And I feel like since he's at 168 and at a more comfortable weight, I think this is the best way for Canelo, where I've seen him where he has more endurance. Because, in the past, we used to complain about him, how he used to get kind of gassed out during fights.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not going to happen as much, maybe, just because he's at his weight where he's not killing himself to, make the weight. So Canelo's just going to have to be patient with them. Saunders is going to make it a long fight, trying to go around the ring, use every inch of that ring to move around. But Canelo's going to have to use his jab. Like I said, kind of like what you mentioned earlier with the Khan fight. He's going to have to use the first couple of rounds to find his range and, catch him and set up those traps, set up those landmines throughout the ring where he's going to the body, jab to the body, jab to the apex, body shots. And then, every once in a while come upstairs and keep Saunders thinking. So, I think that's the biggest way. That's the fight I kind of see it, comparing it to the most, not the Lara fight, but the Khan fight. Because, the first couple of rounds, Khan was active. He was awake. Yeah. He caught Canelo a couple of times early, made his head snap back with that, 1-2, and then he got out the way. But then Canelo was more patient, found his range, didn't panic at all, went to the body. So I think that's what he's going to have to do for the Saunders fight. Have a look, throw a couple tricks at him, feint, do the fucking margarita uppercut stuff like that,
And you know what fight comes to mind? Because he's fighting a southpaw. It's that Trout, how he neutralized that jab. If he's going to use that jab, but also that you got to throw that fucking right straight down the pipe. Boom. And that Canelo did that beautiful versus Trout. So he's got to throw that right straight down the pipe. That's the fundamental when you're fighting a southpaw, of course. But you don't think that Trout fight gave him a...
Yeah, that's a good one too, because like Saunders and Trout, they're like the same height. I think Saunders might be a little bit taller than Trout.
I didn't know he's tall.
Yeah, Saunders is pretty tall, bro. They say he's a big fighter at 168. That like he kind of has to work to make weight.
Okay.
That's why he went up from 160. But he's a big super middleweight, which is gonna be interesting. I'm not sure if Canelo's gonna knock him out. It might go the full 12 rounds.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a good analogy too with the Trout fight. Kind of slapped that, knock down Saunders' jab, and kind of counter with the overhand right. But it's gonna be a good fight. A lot of people don't really know Saunders because he fights overseas a lot.
Yeah,
he's only fought here like maybe once or twice, like with the Lemieux fight. But so people don't know how dangerous Saunders can be. But if you're a real boxing fan, it's a good fight. I mean, Canelo's still the favorite because I think he's gonna figure him out eventually and get that range. But it's gonna be a good fight, dude. It's interesting. There's stuff to look forward to.
And those that don't know him, of course you could YouTube him, but he's gonna talk trash. That guy's a showman in the press conferences. He's gonna talk trash, and we're gonna get to see him. Because this is all eyes on him, like Pac. So he's gonna put on a show outside of the. It's gonna be crazy, dude. He talks a lot of shit. So
they were gonna fight last year too, bro. Right before COVID hit, they were getting ready to announce that fight, Saunders and Canelo at 160 or 168, but COVID hit, so they just canceled it. But so his mouth, like you said, his mouth won him that fight last year, and he has a belt too at 168, and that's what Canelo wants. He wants all the belt at 168, undefeated. So it's a nice test.
That's a good fight, dude. I'm excited for that one. I wasn't excited for the Yield Drum, although I saw some beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was excited for that fight. That was just like we got to call it what it is. It was a stay busy fight, and it was politics too, just because he was the mandatory. I don't know how he hadn't fought like in fucking 10 years, but Yildirim was the mandatory, and then it was also kind of supposedly people were saying that because Yildirim was a sparring partner of Canelo in the past.
Yeah.
So it's kind of Canelo's way to fucking, thanking him for all the fights he helped him prepare for. So he gave him a little payday, hooked him up.
He gave him $3 million,
yeah, like 2.3 million or some shit, or maybe 3 million. But it was easy work. It was a stay busy fight. Even Canelo said, like, I didn't think it was gonna go past 6 rounds. Like, he's like, I wanted to finish it off early, but it was his mandatory, and he wants to keep all those belts. That's it. His goal is to fucking get all the belts in that division. So he's like, I had to do what I had to do. It was a quick turnaround, so fucking on to the next one.
All right, yeah. I mean, he's giving us this fight. So if he would have gave us like another Yildirim, I would have got mad. But he's giving us Saunders, and that's a credible. That's a hard fight. I didn't know he was that big. So he's big and he moves, and he's a southpaw. This could be an upset. And I'm not trying to say that Canelo's gonna lose, but dude, this guy could freaking school him, dude. He's good. He's good. If you're saying he's not gonna knock him out, this is gonna be a chess match, dude.
I don't see. It's fuck, cause he's a big super middleweight, but I think he's been dropped before, Saunders. But supposedly that's because he was at 160 and he was killing himself making weight. So they say that was a big piece of why. So some people do question his chin. If he does get hit with a clean shot by Canelo, which he probably will. We might see a quick we might see that Amir Khan ending, but I doubt that. From what I've seen him in the past, I mean, he's never fought. The only guy he's fought that has had power was against Lemieux, but Lemieux never touched him. So, I mean, we never got to see his chin tested. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight. There's going to be a lot of questions answered. If Canelo could fight that dude that runs around the ring, and if fucking Saunders could fucking take a punch. So we'll see. It's interesting. There's gonna be a good fight. Cinco de Mayo weekend, bro. It's gonna be lit. People are gonna be in the stands, and that's another thing too, bro. I think yesterday was the first time where I saw a fight and it felt back to normal, because like they had more people at in Dallas or wherever the fight was at yesterday. So it was the first time where I could hear people, and like it felt like an old school, like a pre-COVID fight. Like I got into it, and you could hear the crowd cheering, like it was loud.
And you know what?
It was dope.
And I was gonna ask you that, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to bring it. I was gonna ask you that when you were talking about something else. But you know what? It is true, dude. The fans, it makes a difference, and it makes a difference for fighters, dude. Like for example, I'm gonna shift it a little bit. David Benavidez, they're putting him with Canelo, but his last fight, I saw some holes in the kid. He's only 24, but out of all of them, I think he could give Canelo the best fight, because this guy has he has some matrix speed. He has speed, dude. Like he has hands, or like it puts him it makes him like what's the word I'm looking for?
He's a threat.
He's a threat, but that speed it sets him apart from someone else. He has that Canelo speed. He has that you know what I'm saying? Just that quick dude. He has hands, but without the fans, I don't think he performs to this potential. And like his last fight, he whooped that on that dude's. But I saw some holes in it, and without the fans, I don't think he's more of a fans type of fighter, dude. What'd you see in that fight?
Yeah, and then you said too, right, that like his last fight, not this one that he just fought last Saturday, but the one before where he looked kind of delicate. He didn't have a full training camp because of COVID, and then like he didn't really train all the time. Like it was his schedule was all fucked up.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bennett, like you said, like he has the weapons to beat Canelo. If you look at it, like you said, he has the power. He's a big 168. He's a big super middleweight. He's got hand speed. He's long. He's like what 6'2", 6'1"?
He's like
and he has long arms.
Yeah.
So he has and he has hands. The only thing, and then you said it too, like the thing that sticks out to me, like you said, he's 24 and he has his hands down a lot, bro. Like if he fights a legit super middleweight and he has his hands down, like he throws a combination and he kind of keeps him down and he admires his work sometimes. And that's the only thing too. If he fights like an elite fighter who could counter, they'll make him pay for it. Maybe he did that on like not on purpose, but maybe he kind of had his hands down just because he knows who he was fighting.
Yeah.
And like, all right, it's a B-level fighter. Like he wasn't on his A game. But yeah, that's the only thing that I kind of saw, that like he still needs more experience too. The perfect time, I'm telling you, the perfect time for Benavidez to catch Canelo would be next year, like in next May, or give him, let him fight fucking Charlo.
That's what I was gonna tell you.
Plant. You give him an A- fighter, like a legit contender. Let him get that experience before he fights the big dog. Because I don't think it's a good idea to fight C+, B- fighters and then fight an A++ fighter. There's levels to this. You can't fight a fucking, I don't know if I'm using this analogy right, but you can't fight a red belt and then for one fight and then your next fight you're fighting like the ultimate black belt sensei and shit. That's just not gonna work out well. It's not a good smart game plan. But we'll see, dude. He has the tools. Like he has it. You see it.
I like the kid. Like I said, I haven't been this excited for a prospect since Canelo. But the thing is that I saw his last fight. He put hands on that dude, but I also saw some like holes in his game. Like you said, he puts his hands down. Canelo was gonna freaking make him pay, dude. And the Big G said that. I don't know, the Big G, Robert Garcia's dad. They interviewed him. He said if he fights somebody, especially if he fights Canelo, puts his hands down, he's gonna pay. He shouldn't be doing that. Big G's old school. You better have your hands here at all times. That's how Robert teaches, Mikey, Virgil, all here, all time, all here. So, and that's the fundamentals. You don't put your hands down. And he does things that you don't supposed to do, but he gets away with it because he's so athletic and he's tall and he's fucking fast. And I see some good stuff, but would that work? He hasn't fought someone in Canelo status or a little bit below. There's Ramirez. There's Plant. There's what's that? The African American brother. He at 160. There's Charlo and there's Canelo fought him. He had cancer.
Not
Jacobs. That's a good fight for him. That's a good test. Like that, Jacobs will make him patient. He'll make him pay. That was a hard fight for Canelo. Canelo didn't rush him. It was a chess match. Canelo was making him pay. Boom, boom, boom. It was a good fight, man. That was a good, and I think that would be a great test for Jacobs, a big guy too. So it'll be a good test for Benavidez. There's a lot of fights for him before he fights Canelo, but hey, the kid wants to test himself, and just like Canelo wanted to test himself versus Floyd, and he lost, but he learned a lot. I saw a lot. This fight, I've been seeing a lot of Floyd and Canelo, dude, a lot of stuff, dude. It's just like, damn, beautiful.
I don't know if I texted you this, bro. I was watching I rewatched the Canelo Triple G fight, the first one. Yeah. And I was watching Canelo move. That was Floyd, bro. I know a lot of people, they were kind of hating on him, but like the movements, the way he was circling around the ring, like just a little, he was Floyd that fight, bro. I mean, people were hating, saying he was running. I'm like, nah, dude, he was when he was like leaning against the ropes and he was waiting for fucking Triple G to counter, like he was right there. He like the Floyd swagger was there. You could see that shit was. I was tripping out when I was watching that fight again because I had forgotten. But that low-key, the Triple G Canelo fight, it's that type of fight that's gonna age well. Like when we 5-10 years from now, we're gonna remember that and we're gonna be like, oh shit, like this was dope fights, dude. That was a skill set. Yeah, both guys showed off what they had, like the tools and all that. It was a good fight, dude. But it'll be a learning experience for Benavidez. I mean, he'll get slapped around, and
I don't think he'll get knocked out. What do you think?
I don't think.
You think Canelo will knock him out? I mean, never say never, but
never say never because I feel like Canelo's strong at this weight, 168. Like he's comfortable, and then he sits on his punches more now compared to before. But
big though.
Yeah,
big boy.
If I had a bet, I would say he doesn't get knocked out, but you never know. Like those hands are down all the time, like you said. If that fool catches him slipping, or hits him with the body shot a couple times, and then he goes upstairs. I mean, you never know. But I would bet against it, but it is Canelo, so.
And David, he has a good stick and he goes to the body too, just like Canelo. Like he has a little bit. You could tell he does a little. He even says it. Canelo, I do this almost the same thing as Canelo. Like he jocks Canelo, just like Canelo jocks Floyd. I seen that this fight versus Belgium, Canelo did a lot of Floyd stuff, dude. I'm just like, damn, dude, this was studying. He studied Floyd. He puts that jab out. There was when Canelo versus Floyd, Floyd put that little jab and he threw that little uppercut. He did one of those little tricks. I'm like, that was beautiful.
Or when Floyd fought Cotto, and then how Cotto had the high guard like Yildirim, and then he hits him around it. They're like not the back of the head, but like in the back of the ear. Like he does little angle shots where like he'll find little holes where he could land.
And he does that. He does that sometimes. He does that little the shoulder roll.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. That fight needs to happen next year though. I'm looking forward to that one.
Next year or in 2 years, this guy's still young, and then his time is in his hands. Canelo's getting older, and he's in his prime, and Canelo trains every day. He stays in shape 24/7, just like Bernard Hopkins, just like Floyd. De La Hoya used to mess around between fights. Duran used to get fat, blow up. Vargas used to blow up. But the dedicated ones, they stay freaking fighting for a long time. Hopkins till he was 50. Floyd, he's still fighting, or I don't know, but he just finished retiring. And Canelo stays in shape 24/7, and that's a recipe for longevity, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, dude, he's only 30 years old too. It's not like he's like getting
good
old.
30, a good 30.
Yeah, he had a year off last year, 2020. He didn't fight, so he got a year off. That might have like low key been a blessing in disguise, extended his career.
Dude. Yeah.
So he took a year off. That's why he said too, like he wanted to fight a lot. Like he fought December. He wanted to stay busy fighting February, and then now he's fighting. He wants to fight 4 times within a year. And then like it's crazy because we don't see like the top guys do that at all. Like when was the last time Crawford fight? Spence fights like once every year and a half. Fucking who else? Lomachenko, he fought once and like one time in a year and a half too.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because we rarely see guys in general fight that often, but it's even more rare when it comes to like the top level guys. So for Canelo to want to fight 4 times in a year, I mean that's a treat for us boxing fans because we see the top dude pound for pound, in the ring more. So I mean that's cool, dude. Like I don't think a lot of people are giving him enough credit for that. Like he's down, like he wants to be active, unlike other guys out there.
All right, let me just throw you off a little bit. You ready?
Yeah.
Masvidal versus Usman. I threw you off, brother. What's up?
You ain't throwing me off, bro. You're right in my wheelhouse. What's up, man? I know you got Masvidal, which I get.
Let me just put my piece, and then you'll give me your piece. Masvidal got the fight. I heard he was drunk at a birthday party. He got a text. It was during COVID, and they say, hey, you want to fight this guy? It's one day. You got to fight. They say, but you got to leave tomorrow and to Fight Island and somewhere in the Middle East. That's when they had the bubble and COVID hit. He said, Masvidal will fight, dude. He's a street fighter and he's chasing money, dog. So he said, I'm down. He was drunk. He packed his stuff and he left. And he looked like me, dog, all chubby. And he got down with Usman. Usman beat him, but he didn't beat his ass. Usman didn't put hands on him. He just freaking stepped on his toes and hit him and hugged him and he neutralized him. That's exactly what he did. He neutralized Masvidal.
He hit him with a lot of body shots too, bro. I don't think people talk about that enough. When he was leaning on him on the cage, he was hitting with nice body shots, which helped because he wasn't in shape to begin with, and that even that got him tired even faster. But I just think there's levels, bro. Like especially after this last fight, like I think Burns is just as dangerous. I might be tripping, but I think Burns was just as dangerous as Masvidal, and he hurt fucking Usman too, bro. Like
he hurt Usman. That was fire. And
then Usman got drunk, and then he kind of got lucky because Burns slipped, which spot
Usman. The bell rang too, no?
The what?
He slipped, and then the bell rang, no?
No. He slipped, and then fucking Usman fucking kind of just stayed on top of him and kind of bought time, and that's when he was like punching him in the hamstring.
Okay.
Like stuff like that, and then he ended up recovering and took over after that. But I just think Usman's too experienced, bro. Like he has too many weapons for you. Like if he could go fight you standing up, which isn't his A game, that's not like what he wants to do because he's a better wrestler. I think he's like an all-American wrestler, bro. Okay. So if he's like, I'm not saying he's Khabib type, but like he's like a step right under. That's what people forget. Because his last couple fights, he has been fucking getting into it, like the stand-up game.
Yeah, and that's dangerous though. Who has better hands?
I'll give you Masvidal.
Masvidal has kicks to the body too, dude. Well, Masvidal has hands, my boy. And that's the thing.
Go ahead.
No, that's the thing. If Usman runs into, he gets drunk, just like that dude got him and he got him drunk. His sparring partner, what's his name?
Burns.
If Masvidal gets you drunk, he'll finish you, brother. He'll finish you.
He could because he didn't finish Nate, even though Nate's a crazy motherfucker. But
whoever finished Nate? No one. You know what Nate got? They kicked him in the head and he got knocked out when he was little.
Yeah, but he was beating Nate's ass, bro. Nate was still, and then the momentum was turning, bro.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Too. I saw that fight again.
Yeah.
And he was. I'm not saying that he would have came back and won, but like he was fucking kind of. It was becoming a Nate fight.
Yeah, they do that.
Bloodied. Yeah, he was fucking getting his ass beat, but like it's like he needs that to fucking step it up. Nate's he's a crazy dude. So and then unfortunately, they ended up stopping it on some like bullshit. But
that was whack. That was whack.
And then Masvidal has better stand-up game, but Usman has that jab, bro. That might be the game changer. He has that cool jab, bro.
Yeah, that was a good jab.
Power shot. He dropped Burns with a jab, and he knows how to throw it too. So that kind of, it doesn't even it out, but that kind of makes it closer when it comes to stand-up. But Usman does get hit though a lot. Like against Kobe, even though Kobe doesn't have any power, he was getting tagged a lot. But Usman has a fucking chin too. But it's a dope fight, dude. I'm not complaining about it. I want to see him running back just so, Masvidal won't have that excuse that he didn't have a training camp.
Yeah.
Now he has a training camp. It's next month. My boy has 6-7 weeks to get ready at least, even though he should have been getting ready fucking already. But no more excuses now. And then supposedly too, Usman had a broken nose into that fight and he just didn't say anything. But that fool said it after. He's like, I had a broken nose too, dog. You didn't see me crying about it and I just fought. Okay. So they're both down. It's gonna be a dope ass fight. It's gonna be scary. Yeah, if you're a Usman fan, which I am, it's gonna be scary those first couple minutes because fucking Masvidal throws, and if he catches you, like you said, he could finish. But fucking he has a fucking chin and he recovers. So
in great shape. Yeah, he's in great shape, dog. Look, his body's fucking everything. He's just cut. He's in his prime. He's Usman. He's fired, dog.
Yeah, he's a fucking tank, bro. Like you keep tagging him and he keeps going forward. Like he makes it his type of fight. So I don't know if Masvidal's gonna have that. Oh, well, Masvidal is in shape though. Like when we seen him before, like he could go 5 rounds and he could go rounds nonstop.
Just that fight, he got tired, dude. It was a Fight Island. It was last minute, and he gave it to us, to the fans. I wouldn't take that fight, dog. If they call me, hey, you're gonna fight Usman, and I'm coming off a great win off of Nate, and like what tomorrow? Nah, I'm straight, dog. Hell, because it's gonna kill your.
He got paid. He sold his soul,
Yeah, he got paid, and he gave us something. Dude, we were stuck in our rooms. We thought it was the end of the world, dog. It was COVID hit, and Mayor Garcetti said some of us ain't gonna make it, and some of us all like, what the fuck? So I looked at my sister like, one of us is gonna die, goddamn it. So it was just like, and that fool gave us that. So I that's love, dog. And Usman too. They flew to Fight Island and then they gave us that fight, but he gave us the last minute and he was out of shape, burnt out, but we'll see. We're gonna find out. We could talk, but we're gonna find out in a couple of weeks.
And it might be a closer fight, bro, because I heard fucking there's a word on the street was last month when Masvidal fucking went to Canelo's fight. That fool was getting pointers and shit. He was asking fucking Canelo. Nah, just fucking with you.
Oh, okay. He was there though.
He got the kiss of good luck, bro. Canelo gave him his blessing, and now he's ready, bro. So we'll see. That might be the fucking the game changer right there.
Hey, and Masvidal does go to the body too. Like you said that what's his name went to the body versus Masvidal, but Masvidal, I don't remember he didn't do shit versus Usman that fight. He just survived and got a payday if he was laughing. But does go to the body, and he has beautiful kicks to the body, dude. So it's gonna be dope fight, dude. It's gonna be a great fight.
And I think during the build-up, I think he's gonna have to make it personal, Masvidal.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to talk shit and try
to get talking shit. Yeah.
Yeah, get into Usman's head. He's gonna have that chance now, like the press conferences, the showdowns, the interviews, whatever. He's gonna have to try to get in Usman's head because we see it in the past when Usman takes that shit personal, he fights. Okay. Like he's not gonna try to fucking take Masvidal down. He's gonna try to fight him, like with the whole Kobe fight. Yeah. Like both those guys, people forget Covington and Usman, they were wrestlers. They're both fucking all-American wrestlers or whatever. But those fools were standing up the whole time because they didn't like each other.
Broke his jaw, no?
Yeah, he broke his face. Like he told him post game after the Woody fight, he's like, bro, I broke your face. Why are you talking? Wow. But so Usman, when he doesn't like you, he's willing to get down, bro. So that might work that might work into Masvidal's advantage, where like I'm gonna get in this dude's head and I'm gonna make him fucking stand up with me instead of him taking me down to the floor. But we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a dope ass fight, and the card's pretty dope too. I know Rose is gonna be in there. She's gonna fight. I forgot her name. But it's gonna be like a women's title belt on the line, so that's gonna be a dope ass fight.
Bang. The women bang in fucking UFC, dog. If you say the women suck, you don't know what you're talking about. The women bang in the UFC fight, dog. They bang.
It's a cool card, and then hopefully because the Ortega fight got canceled or got postponed for next week, because he was gonna fight Volkanovski for the title. Mm-hmm. So Volkanovski got COVID. So, I mean, if they were able to back it up and they could fight in the Usman Masvidal undercard, even fucking better. That should even make it better, but we'll see. I'm just fucking trying to speak it into existence, but we'll see. It's going to be the best fight.
All right. Hey, man, anything else you want to say? Anything else before we close?
Yeah, real quick question too, before we wrap it up. So, there was an announcement last week, bro. So who you got? Joshua versus Fury.
Oh yeah. I think Fury, dude. Fury. Which I seen Joshua bang and everything, but my boy, what's his name? Mexican cat. ¿Cómo se llama? Reese. He left. He exposed him. He left holes. The Ultimate Sin, he quit, and his chin, like he left a lot of question marks. And Fury doesn't leave question marks, dog. Who do you got?
See, my head's telling me Fury, but I don't know, something's bugging me, bro. Like, I don't know what it is that's telling me. I have a feeling Josh is going to pull it out. Just because.
Boxing or knock him out or whip his ass?
I think he's going to box him. I think that fool's going to throw a lot of people off, and he's going to outbox him because I think it's going to be a complete 180 from the Wilder fight. Because you're talking about a guy in Wilder who has crazy ass knockout power, but has no fundamentals or skills. Like he telegraphs his shots. He doesn't know how to really set up his shots and all that. We know. Compared to Joshua, where he might not have that Wilder power, or he might not even have Tyson Fury power, but he's skilled, dude, and he's a big dude too. He's 6'6", so he knows how to move. He has a stick. He has a quick one. He has hands too, bro. So I just think that, I don't know, I have a feeling something's telling me that he's going to have something going to throw him off and kind of make it a closer fight than we think it's going to be. And I think I got Joshua in a decision where he kind of just have the fucking boxing performance of his life.
Oh, wow.
Just kind of shock the world. But, or I don't know if it's really going to be a shock, but I don't know. Like, my head's telling me Fury. But I don't know, something's bugging me. Like, I have that feeling where, like, I think just Joshua's going to do it. I just think, like we say in boxing, I know you don't like the saying, but styles make fights, bro. Yeah, I know you hate that shit, but something's bugging me in saying that Joshua's going to pull it off and surprise a bunch of people.
I mean, Joshua can box. We seen versus Reese part 2. He boxed him, grabbed him, boxed him. It was boring, but that's how you win. He won the fight, dude. He outpointed him and won the fight. But also, I seen him bang. He fucking went on a fight of the year, and he left a legacy versus Klitschko. That you could go back on that fight, and he left a beautiful freaking a masterpiece, dude. He banged with him. He dropped him. Then he dropped him. He got him with the uppercut, and then they stopped the fight or he quit. He beat Klitschko, dude. That was fire. So we've seen that. But like I said, the Ultimate Sid is quitting, and in his chin, dude, and Fury. Fury doesn't have power, but he has science, and Fury can box, but he can bang. And is he gonna get in his head? I don't know, dude. I just feel Fury is fire, but it's a good fight. Two giants, and he's coming out of they both are coming off wins and everything. So,
hey, Britain's gonna be fucking where I'm pretty sure they're gonna fight overseas, but Britain, that whole country, that whole fucking I don't know what it is, that nation, United Nation, they're gonna be rocking that night, bro, when they get down.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's gonna be a good fight. I mean, if you tell me Fury, I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, I get it. He should be the favorite just because of what he did to Wilder, and he has been more active, I guess you could say. But it's gonna be that's a dope ass fight too. That's a super fucking fight right there. So we'll see.
Yeah, 2021 it's been good, man. Boxing and UFC sports, but boxing for sure, and UFC, the good fights, dude. So, and it's getting good, man. It's getting better, and we have good fights, and it's just the beginning. We're just starting.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. It looks like a promising year. We're getting a lot of the matchups that we want.
Yeah.
And then especially like UFC, they're fucking just banging out all the cards, bro. Like I feel like every week there's literally a UFC fight like every week. Next week, Miocic versus Francis. That's gonna be a dope ass fight.
Oh, big dude.
And this, I don't know if you saw the fight yesterday. I don't think you did. The Brunson versus Kevin Holland fight. That was a good fight too.
I didn't see it.
It was a middleweight fight. Fucking what, like 2 weeks ago, Israel fought. The month before, Usman just fought. Yeah. So UFC just pushing them out, bro. But and that's the thing too. I didn't mention with Usman. It might be too much of a quick turnaround because he's only gonna have like 2 months off to fight Masvidal. Okay. It could be overtraining, but we'll see.
Yeah, now he's gonna step up, dude. That's a great fight, dog. I think he's gonna be in his A game, dude. 100%, both of them. So we're gonna the fans are gonna get a freaking badass fight, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Where do I catch you, dog? Where can I catch you? What's your handle? And in case somebody wants to interview, I'm gonna catch you on the next podcast for sure. But where can we find you, man?
So my Twitter handle is RamirezJ24. So you can catch me there on Twitter. I'll be posting stupid stuff. I don't get too active during a fight. You might see me tweet a couple stuff and all that and engage. But yeah, man, that's my Twitter handle. And then I'm not in charge of the Couch Talk Sports fucking blog or whatever Couch Talk Sports Twitter account. That's the other person. That's the other guy. But
yeah, you're out of your contract. You're out. So I get it. I mean,
no, we'll see. We never say never. So we'll see. We might be working on something, but we'll see.
So that's where we catch you?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for stopping by Mike Angelo Podcast. And for sure, I'm gonna hit you up again for next big fight. And yeah, man, if you could be a regular on the show, man, I appreciate your time, brother.
For sure. Hit me up.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Yep.